Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aso. Today, my colleague David and I are going to talk about Middle East. So it's a curiosity of mine to ask you guys what comes to your mind when you hear the words of Middle East. So think about it. Middle East is a rich cultural, historical, and diversity place in our planet. So, Middle East is located. It's right across at the crossroad of Europe and Asia and Africa. It's Egypt, with these countries are included. Some are small, so I want to mention them. Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. Yep. So, demographic landscape of diverse population of Middle East. Actually, Middle East has a diverse background. A lot of people from diverse background, like ethnic background and religious backgrounds, live in the Middle East. This picture is just from Pope Francis in 2021. He visited Iraq, and this is from a show or exhibition of the religious and ethnic backgrounds that these little beautiful girls are wearing their clothes. And this is a president of the Kurdistan region, Necip Barzani. So these ethnic groups, if you look at it at the ethnic backgrounds, Kurds, Arabs, Turks, and Persian live in the Middle East. And from religious background, there are three major religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. And some other religion actually live in the Middle East, like Kakais, Zoroastrian, and Yazidis. And migration patterns. Migration is because of the conflict going on in the Middle East. A lot of people migrate to different countries like Europe, United States, and different places. There are some IDPs, like internal displacement people, from inside this, because there are some, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of conflict, political and ethnic conflict and religious conflict going on in the Middle East. For example, conflict between some sectarian violence between, like in Iraq, Syria, Iran, like between. In Islam, there are two groups, Shia and Sunnis. So these people are going from their places because some other people are attacking them. So, for example, in Iraq, some Christian people and some Sunni Muslims run from southern part of Iraq and central part of Iraq to northern part of Iraq, which is a Kurdistan region. So the population of Middle East, this is the last census that made, that it's from 2024. It's 479,451,265, which is the, as you see, Egypt is it has a high number, 110 million, and Cyprus is 1,235,727. Okay, average number of births per woman. As you see, we use this a graph from 1950 to 2005. From 1950, average woman, especially in Arab countries, were 7 to 8 for each woman has 8 children. And now it's decreasing. It's decreasing to 2005, especially for the Arab countries, which is that Egypt is getting 3. but in some other countries even gets down to the lowest point. Considered immigration. So mostly in the Middle East, people aged between 18 and 29 are mostly going to immigrate to different countries. Which, if you look at this, for example, in Tunisia, 71% of immigration belongs to young people. So now I'm going to give my friends a room to talk about that.
Okay, so now we talk about cultural heritage of the Middle East. The Middle East has like a wide range of pieces of cultural heritage, which include ancient ruins, mosques, museums, and traditional arts and crafts. And the preservation and transmission of these pieces of cultural heritage are very important because they are vital for safeguarding the identity of Middle Easterns and fostering cultural understanding. So now we come to the economy. Some countries, actually many countries in the Middle East, depend on oil exports specifically, making them vulnerable to price fluctuations and the global market in general. So by developing infrastructure, technology, and human capital, right, investing in those, we would diversify their economy and potentially create sustainable growth. And also, we have to mention income inequality because it is like very, very prevalent in the region, including disparities between countries, urban and rural areas, and different socio-economic groups, and etc. So here we can see the GDP per capita in the Middle East, which showcases that disparity very well. Social dynamics and evolving identities. So basically, many societies in the Middle East hold strong traditional values and beliefs which influence social norms and also family structures as well. However, modernization introduces new ideas, technologies, and lifestyles, basically changing these social dynamics, and the identities of these people basically have to balance this tradition with the modernity in some places, and basically leading to them having to navigate complex social structures. So I'll give it back.
Okay. So, as we mentioned, a lot of conflicts going on because of rich diversity and this rich religious background. So, unfortunately, in the Middle East became the source of separation, not source of integration. So, a lot of conflicts going on. Sometimes there's in some countries around Middle East, some authoritarian government are in power so that they don't care about people's voice, and some political corruption and some red taps and not having a democratic election as it is we see in the Western countries is a source of conflicts between the governments and the people. And the other one is resource competition. As we see there are a lot of natural resources in the Middle East, like oil and gas and water resources. Especially nowadays, for water resources is very complicated because as you see, like in the sources for example, Syria, Iraq, water sources comes from Tigris and the Euphrates rivers that came from Turkey. And Turkey made a lot of dam on the river. So now you see a lot of lands, agricultural lands in Syria and Iraq are drying out. And people are just crying out for the government, and they are in the process. These governments are in the process, and Turkey are demanding some political and some economic asking to make this water follow to the countries, these countries. And some other regional powers like Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, these Qatar, and are going to have some problems together. For example, these countries, Saudi Arabia and Iran. Iran, they are both Muslim, but Iran, majority of Iran and the government are Shiis, and Saudi Arabia are Sunnis. These people, they have a lot of differences, and they made the differences outside of the borders. Like in Lebanon, in the situation now you see in Palestine, in Yemen, in Lebanon, these are Iran's, let's say, political exports to, you know, to export their political problems with this country. And Saudi Arabia, you know, Saudi Arabia pushing back these problems into Iraq and Syria and other parts of Iraq. This is just a mentioning, it takes a lot of time to explain it better. So, so this, considering the time, I'm just mentioning the problems. So, and greater power competition as well. Now you see in Syria, some part of Syria which is under government territories are Russian. They are under Russian territory, Russian supporting them, and in other part, United States. So these are some other problems now fighting going on in the region. Thank you. Considering the time, we couldn't get our ideas out properly. So if you have any question, we would be happy to answer. Thank you very much for your time and patience.